Welcome, friends, Zoom and Facebook. Today, we are here to talk about anxiety. So, insight on anxiety, day one, why a mind, body, heart approach to anxiety works. So, this is going to be a high level all right, so I'm going to go back a couple minutes. So, what is anxiety then? Anxiety, from a Western point of view, it is a chemical imbalance or an emotional imbalance, a kind of difficulty in processing our external world or our internal world. So in a Western approach, you come at this typically with like medications or like a talk therapy. And what the tendency is to kind of compartmentalize the treatment into just like one area and or another area over here, maybe adding on some like, oh, we'll do a little bit of like walking or something, like something else to reduce stress. But in general, Western approach is very isolating. Now, in contrast, a mind, body, heart approach is more about looking at the big picture. So because my background is Ayurveda, I'm going to share that with you. So that Ayurveda is traditional medicine from India. It's been around for thousands of years, and they're very concerned. Like in the past, it's been like the only medicine at some points. Now, of course, like in India, they have Western medicine, and Western medicine works in combination with Ayurveda. Ayurveda is really all about is understanding that we are a part of the bigger picture, that nature, I'm just going to use the word nature to say pretty much everything outside of us, like nature is in us, and we are also reflected in nature. Like, for example, in cycles, in patterns, like the cycles of the year, the cycles of a day from day to night, the cycles of our lives from childhood to adulthood to our golden years. We see these cycles everywhere. And our lifestyle now that we have, we're not usually very conscious of these cycles, and we're supremely disconnected from them. And what that means is that it creates stress in the biggest sense of the word, of just like um, being in a state of harmony to being in a state out of harmony. And while this is normal, it's normal to kind of bounce around harmony. Like we're at a place in the way we live where we don't really come back that much. We have so many ways that we are not in alignment with the natural rhythms of life outside and within ourselves, that it just adds more and more and more layers of stress. So we say in Ayurveda that our culture is vata imbalance, which is the vata is like anxiety is one of the primary symptoms of vata imbalance. So it's not just us as individuals, but it's our entire like society, and within that society, all of the structures that we have, like how we work, how much, what our social life is like, whether we're connected, spiritually. Of course, what we're eating, how we're taking care of our bodies, like all of these things, like they add up to create a lot of stress. And this stress, oftentimes it gets interpreted as anxiety in the system. So while this might sound kind of big, it actually means that we have so many more opportunities to tweak to help us feel less anxious. So it's not just about taking the medication or, going to talk therapy, but we have this whole gamut of things that we can do to help to take care of ourselves and to help move us into finding a harmony that like practical for our lives. It's not going to look like it did 5,000 years ago in India. It needs to look like something that helps us live content Western lives today. So it might feel like anxiety is a constant. And for some of us, I know that's the way it was for me. And sometimes I still feel that. But I can tell you that when you spend time, when you invest in slowly finding ways to tweak on a mind, body, heart approach, and to heal, that slowly the anxiety can start to kind of dissipate, and reduce, and also prevent from continuing at the same degree. Because where you are now is a result of everything that you have done up until now. It's how you've lived your life up until now. And while that can be kind of like, oh crap, that also means